What's up, guys? Welcome back to Restrepos Rundown. I'm your host, Julia Restrepo. In this podcast, we'll explore and discuss about Division I student athletes here at PC. We make and support claims like being a student athlete isn't as always as easy and fun as people may see it. Today, I am joined with Julia Renzelmann, a freshman from PC. She is on the swim team, and she will be talking today about her experience here. Julia, hi, welcome. Thank you for coming onto the podcast today.
Of course, I'm super excited.
No, it's good to have you on here. Pretty much how we start most of these podcasts, we're going to start with some icebreaker questions, just so people listening can kind of get to know you a little bit. So we're going to do first, last name, where you're from, your class, and then one fun fact about you.
Okay, I am Julia Renzelmann. I'm a freshman at Providence this year, and I'm all the way from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, so a little bit far ways away. And one fun fact about me is that I can sing the alphabet backwards. I taught myself, you spend a lot of time with your head underwater, like your own inner monologue, so that's what I taught myself. I can do it real quick.
Okay, if you want to go for it, we can hear it.
Just to, prove my point.
Yeah.
ZYXWBTSRQPOMNLKJIHFEDCBA.
Well, if anyone slowed that down, I'm pretty sure they could fact check you, but we're going to believe you. So that is impressive talent.
Thank you.
Okay, so kind of just to get the ball rolling so people can kind of get familiar with you. Tell us, you said you're from Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Tell us about your family life, siblings.
I have two brothers, an older brother who is a senior in college this year at Ohio State, and a younger brother who's a junior in high school this year. Both of them are super athletic, but athletic in the terms that they can all run, catch, throw, kick. They were both multi-sport athletes, while I just stuck to one my whole life. I've only been able to swim because I do not have their hand-eye coordination, at all. So I can admire it, but
did they ever get into swimming at all?
All three of us actually were put in, because we live right on Lake Michigan, so all three of us were put into those baby safety classes to kind of just learn basic water safety. And I think I was 6 and my little brother was 4 and my older brother was 9. And so I slowly started to pass my older brother in all the swim lessons and stuff. And so that didn't make him very happy, but then I got put on our YMCA swim team. So that's kind of how I started off.
That's what I was gonna say. What, after you passed him, did he just call it quits and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this anymore"?
Yeah, that was it for him.
Wow. Okay. And your younger brother, did he just never catch up?
He never did. No.
No. Okay. Fair enough.
He stuck to track and basketball.
Okay. But for you, that actually kind of leads into what I was gonna ask further on. So. You didn't do any other sports, you said it was just strictly swim?
Yeah. I tried other ones, I guess, but they were all I think the longest I lasted was soccer, and it was 5 days. And then
5 days?
I didn't like it. So.
Any reason why any of these other sports didn't last too long for you?
I don't like things that I get really frustrated when I'm not initially really good at something. And I just wanted to play the games. I just wanted to play a soccer game, play a basketball game. I didn't want to do any of the practice. So when I found that I enjoy practicing swimming, it was it stuck because I actually enjoyed working hard at that.
Right. No. Okay. I hear you. So you did mention you have two brothers, one older, one younger. How was that as the middle child of two brothers? How did that kind of growing up in that household go for you in terms of sports or just in general, actually?
The dynamic was always super fun and super competitive, and I think that's what kind of drove me personally, just because having two brothers, they're so competitive with absolutely anything, even who makes it down for Christmas first in the mornings, who can unwrap this the fastest. Everything turns into a competition. Who can carry the most bags and from groceries into our house? Everything turns competitive. And so that makes it fun, and it also creates like an interesting dynamic, especially like, and having two brothers, it makes me appreciate the boys swim team a lot more, just because they add such a fun dynamic that I have grown up on. So,
Right.
and and I always
Yeah.
have someone to hang out with, like having an
There
older
you go.
brother and
There
having a
you
younger brother. Like if I'm mad at one of them, I can just hang out with the other one.
go. That's definitely one way to look at it. Yeah. I mean, being an only child myself, I wish, I did have that sibling rivalry, but no, that sounds like it's good fun. That sounds like it's good fun.
You had to have like more personal motivation though. That's almost more impressive.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It was very, I had some colleagues, some peers that I would, you know, try to get after. I saw them as my older brothers or younger brothers, but yeah, both equally impressive. So I must say. But now that we kind of gotten to know you a little bit more, know a little bit more of your background, I kind of want to get into your recruitment process, because I feel like it's a topic that's not really touched upon that much, or at least in depth. Everyone hears stories about how you can go D1 in a sport, and just pretty much the end destination. But I think spreading awareness and knowledge about the actual process is equally as important. So that's what we're gonna try to touch on right here. So pretty much just talk to me through, where did you start, like the end of your sophomore year, or like junior year. Just talk to me from that stage upwards of how you started, reaching out and preparing for that college process.
I mean, the dream started in like eighth grade when I realized it could like potentially be like a reality. Every kid says that they want to like go D1 for their sport, but for like most people, it's not possible. And so that's when I think I really started to like, I started lifting and I started going to two practices a day instead of just one. And I started like changing how I eat and changing like my whole daily routine, just because like I wanted to take the school seriously. And so then by sophomore year, when I started really having to like think about it and plan it, I started going to like swim camps, and I started doing more meets just to get more like exposure and just more experienced, because there's this app called Swim Cloud that it like tracks your progress. Like every time you've ever swam, it tracks, so you can see a like basically like a visual graph of like all your progress for every event that you've ever swam. So that app is actually a blessing and a curse, but I'll get into that in a second, because um, it also shows like college coaches that can like favorite your account, or like how many coaches like view your account and like click on your see your profile and all that stuff. And so you can also see every swimmer pretty much ever, especially in your state. Like you can see where you're ranked nationally, locally, like based on your state. It's a crazy app, but um,
Yeah.
um, so coaches usually found you on that. And so sophomore year, when I wanted to like when I started really taking it seriously and thinking about it, I knew I wanted to go far away, not because I don't like Sheboygan, but just because once you see one thing in Wisconsin, you kind of seen it all. And so I knew I wanted to go further away, like figure out what I wanted to do and like just kind of be by myself for a while. And so I started looking at a lot of East Coast schools like UConn, Vermont, University of Maine, even. Um, and so I really took interest in the Big East because I'm from like 45 minutes away from Marquette. And so so many of my family members and friends go there. So I've been to like, I know their campus, I know their basketball team. We go to so many games, but they do not have a swim team. And so that's kind of what like sparked my interest in the Big East. And from there, I just researched all these schools, reached out, and I actually committed to Butler first, which a
Wow.
lot, yeah, which a lot of people don't know. I don't like to tell a lot of people because then they're like, "Oh, traitor," but I switched, and that's all that matters. So
Yeah, you're here now. That's what matters.
exactly. But I committed to Butler. It's like 5 hours away from my house, so it's a pretty good distance. But they cut their men's team, so that's what I was saying earlier. Like it was just a team of women, and when I went on my official visit, I didn't think like I minded it that much. But then after like coming on official here, also I realized like the difference, and I unfortunately committed to Butler first, and then I decommitted and committed here because I was like, there's no way like I can just be on a team with all women. The men add such a fun dynamic, and having a much bigger team just makes it so much interesting. Like we have 65 people, so like there's you always see somebody in the dining hall, you always see somebody on campus. Like it's never boring. And at Butler, it was like just a team of like 30 girls, which was fun, but not what I was looking for. And so the recruitment process was, I think everyone describes it as being really stressful just because it's a point like all you do is compare yourself to other people and you see other people posting on social media like where they're going and you automatically assume it's like so much cooler than where you're going. And so that's what I was saying about like the app called Swim Cloud. You see where you're ranked nationally and it's cool, but if you check every day like I started to do, you would see yourself like move up and you would see yourself move down and it's just really like it hurts the ego a little to see yourself move down.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I think that app Swim Cloud, I can definitely see why it could be seen as a blessing and a curse because if you're on the upward trend, like yeah, that's great, but then if you see yourself moving down, then you can really get to overthinking, stressing, and then it can affect your sorry your future meets, and so
Exactly. Like it's motivating, but people always say like not to compare, but it's so hard not to.
yeah, and I feel like that's a big thing of comparing because I had one of your fellow freshmen on the men's side, Aiden Puck, he was telling me how in the college recruitment, at least on his side, it was sending in times and sending in like pretty much saying I have a better time than that guy on the team, so I can get in. So I feel like even though a lot of people say you shouldn't compare yourself, you need to run your own race. I feel
Mhm.
like swim, since it's a different type of sport, since it's more, even though it is team, it's a lot of also individual race oriented. So I feel like in that aspect, you have to compare a little bit, and so I think that's why I find swim, at least the sport in itself, so cool.
It's hardest to not compare, especially because when the person that's like so much faster than you is only like 2/10 faster than you in your event. And so it doesn't seem like it's a lot in theory, but like to swimmers, like 2/10 is just a crazy amount. And so to anybody else, it like doesn't make sense why you'd be so upset. But to you, like internally, it's so frustrating to say like, well, they're 2/10 faster, and then everyone else is like, well, that's nothing. But
Right, right. I do want to, kind of ask a little bit. Probably should have asked a little bit earlier, but how big was swimming in Wisconsin? Like, was it a big sport, or were there other sports that kind of overtook it? What was the kind of
it
scenario?
actually it's really surprising, but it actually is a huge swimming state. We had like of the top 50 swimmers in the nation, I think like 14 of them were from Wisconsin, which is crazy. Our number one swimmer is swimming at Stanford. We have one at Virginia, one at Texas. So like all like these big time schools, and I think having that like amount of competition is kind of what made it so hard not to compare because someone going to Texas and someone going to Stanford is just crazy. That's like the best of the best go there, and so swimming against them, like I said, is really really tough for the ego sometimes, but they also like push you to be better at the same time. So it was all about perspective.
Right, right. I hear you. Just so kind of just going more in depth of the emailing and reaching out to province. I said you said you visited Butler. You committed to Butler first, and then you decided to decommit. What was it about? Because I feel like it's really important when, like, a student athlete who's looking to go to college for a sport, when they're going on these visits, I feel like it's important to actually know what you're looking for in terms of a school and a team, and all of that, and from a campus perspective. So at least for you, what going into it, what did you like about PC, or what did you not, like about what you saw at Butler? What were you looking for in a college?
I was originally looking for something in a big city. I looked at Boston University and I looked at Northeastern. Like I wanted to be in the city. And so that was like my original goal. And Butler is kind of like right on the outskirts of Indianapolis, just like um, here is like right outside of like the city of Providence. Um, and so that's kind of what drew me towards like I just like the idea of being near a big city. And so but being near a larger city and still being having that small campus feel is what I really liked about Providence. Just because obviously it's not a huge school when you like think about it in terms of numbers. Like I think it's only like what 4,000, 5,000 people, but
Hmm.
like the energy makes it feel like a big school. Like the passion that everyone has and the energy that's at games and like you get all the small school benefits like smaller class sizes and communication with professors, but like I said, the energy and passion makes it feel like you're at a bigger school than you are. So I liked that aspect.
Yeah, no, I completely understand where you're coming from. I think our undergraduate class is like 4,200, so it's definitely you do have that that one-on-one time with your professor to talk to them. But like you said, and it's a big enough campus where you feel like you're not really congested, and you feel like you have at least some time and space to kind of go off, do your own thing, and
Right.
I think it's really important in a school. And now you spoke about like the campus side of things. Now, what were you looking for? Going into a team. When you were visiting, looking at the swim team, was there anything in particular you were looking at?
I mean, it's kind of just all about like if you connect with a team. Everybody's different, and so I just needed to find somewhere where I like feel like I could fit in. And it's so hard going on a visit. Like you are just introduced to like 50, 60 new people right away, and you're just like they just ask you these questions and you just don't know like it's just awkward kind of. And
Yeah.
so when you find a team that makes it not awkward, I think that's when you know like I remember on my visit like I roomed with one of the sophomores. She was the one who hosted me overnight and she like immediately started talking to me about like things that are going on at the team, what they're all doing. Like they were all going bowling the next weekend, and she started talking to me about like her homework and her classes. And it wasn't like forced small talk or anything. Like it was just so natural, and she made me laugh. And so then I got to the dining hall, and we saw like the four tables of swimmers that we took up. And so
Yeah.
she was like, "Oh yeah, there's if you come anytime of the day, like there's always going to be someone at one of these four tables." And I think that's what I was like, okay, that this is like where I can see myself. There's always somebody here, and I can rely on these people. And I clicked so quickly. Like I just thought it was a good sign.
Yeah, that's one thing I would definitely say about this about you guys as a team. Being here for almost about 4 months now. Like you guys are very very much a team. You guys are together. You guys eat together, and that's not even to say that because some people may think, oh, they're very cliquey, but you guys are actually you guys are very outgoing. You guys talk to different sports. You guys talk to regular students. So and I I applaud you guys for that because it's definitely easy to just fall into your own team and feel comfortable with that rather than reaching out. But you guys have done a great job of embracing that aspect of the whole campus. So that's kudos to you guys for that. Um,
Thank you. We expect to see you at a swim meet, Trevo.
I know I will be at swim meets. I will be at swim meets. Don't worry. You guys went out to soccer, so I'll be at swim. I got you guys. I got you guys. Um, little off topic, little off topic question, but I do want to know just on a personal level. You are from Wisconsin, so has there been any mentions of the accent, coming out?
Oh my gosh, so many. I can't even like begin to start. Like I can just say any sentence, and when they repeat it back to me, that's when I know that they thought it was like I said
Yeah,
something weird. But I think the biggest ones are like how I say my A's and my O's, just because like I say like a grocery bag or a swim bag, and they say like bag
bag.
or
Yeah,
and, and so
yeah,
because I say bag, like everything that rhymes with that also like drag,
yeah,
snag, dragon, like all that just is all the same. And I
yeah,
just think
yeah.
it's so funny. But
No, the only reason I really noticed it when I lived in Minnesota. My teammates had that same accent, so I
oh
just I
yeah,
find it really funny. So, but no, that's just an odd topic thing that I don't know. I wanted to point out. It's funny.
Minnesota's probably
All right, but
worse.
yeah,
I feel like they got to be worse.
yeah, a little bit. No, I think Wisconsin's stronger.
You're just
Yeah,
saying that.
maybe. All up to Wisconsin and Minnesota, though. Love them. All right, but changing gears, back on topic, back to what we're here for. I do want to talk about, obviously you're here. You're not at Butler. You're here at PC. You're a Friar. Um, so we're as of today. It is November 29th. We're coming up to the end of our first semester as freshmen, and that means exams are coming up. So I want to talk to you about have you found it so far balancing school and swim? How's that been going for you?
I actually think it's been going really well. I think anyone who's here and anyone who's competing at this level, like, knows how hard it is. And so they know like how to balance it by now. And so I think it's been a little bit more intense just with like the course load and like stuff like that. But overall, anyone who's here knows how to work hard, knows how to balance all aspects of their life. So it's been good.
So I do want to talk to you more about, specifically how you balance school. I know we have a lot of resources here as student athletes, so I kind of want to talk to you a little bit about that, but also how you personally, organize things because I feel like time management is very key in our schedules of sometimes we'll have team lifts or
Mhm.
we'll have practice on the field or you guys are in the pool. So talk to me more about what resources they offer here at PC and then kind of like what you do on your own to make sure you get everything done timely manner.
Well, not to flex on any other team, but the swim team is the only team that it does not have monitored study hours in the library. And so that is super nice. I know a lot of us do, including myself, still go to the library. I mean, pretty much daily, but have a pretty high GPA across the swim team. So I think that just
Okay.
shows like a lot of our work ethic. We can get it done in and out of the classroom. But I know a lot of us are like have similar majors, and so we'll just find someone who has that same major, and we have the team room like that's inside the pool, but it has like couches, TVs, chargers, and so a lot of us will like sit in there before or after practice and just like grind out homework for like an hour before or after, and then go to Ray together, and then go to the library after. It gets like you kind of get in the habit pretty quickly, or a lot of us bring our computer to like innovation and just sit in the chairs 45 minutes, bang out an essay, something while you're up there.
Yeah.
Just kind of
Power
multitask.
power numbers. Power
Yep.
numbers I see working together. Yeah. I know definitely. I know on my end, I like to bring my computer to the innovation lab. And for those who don't know what the innovation lab, it's just like a recovery room for the athletes. You mean some massage chairs, you have some compression pants, and so um, I do think that's a smart way of getting your recovery in, and then also at the same time knocking out some schoolwork, like you said. So
Exactly.
that is definitely like a 2-in-1. You're knocking two birds out with one stone. So I think that's really really important. But anything else? Do you keep like an online like calendar, physical calendar, or not?
I am pretty old school with that. I keep a physical calendar that stays in my backpack, and I have a whiteboard next to my desk that has all my assignments for the next week. Every Sunday, I go through the syllabus for the next week and I fill it out, just like what my next, like what assignments are due on what days, just so I have like a copy that's always right here on my desk and one that's in my backpack that goes with me everywhere. So I just like writing it all out and like being able to like see it instead of it being on my phone because if I put it on my phone, I get distracted and don't look at it.
Wow, that is very impressive. I don't think I commend you for that because I probably wouldn't have the discipline every Sunday to write it all out. But I mean, hey, everyone functions differently. I know I'm personally someone that uh, keeps it on online, at least on our Teamworks app, at least
Oh yeah,
like the classes and meetings and stuff. And then the homework, I just checked the digital website that we have, but I do think that is probably a better way to write it all down during the week. So it just shows that there's different ways to get things done. Um,
exactly.
so hey, as long as it's done, that's what it's all about.
Right.
What it's all about. All right, so switching gears again to the final topic I kind of want to talk about. What like I said, we've almost been here for 4 months. We're getting towards the end of our semester. What setbacks, what challenges have you kind of like encountered for your first 4 months here at PC?
I think the hardest part is the transition from my club swim team to this swim team, not in terms of like social aspects or anything, but in terms of training. Just because my club team, I don't want to say like, we did a lot of yardage, like an extreme amount, like probably 8,000 a practice. And so here we do about like 5,000. And so it's a lot more focused on like your specific event, which is really nice. But then I felt like I was kind of missing out on those yardages just because I've swam so much like for these past like how many years that I was like worried that I was gonna like get slow or lose my endurance or like not be as strong as I used to be just because I was cutting back on yardage. But I just had to kind of trust that my new coach Jo like knew what he was doing, and I had to trust the process, and it turned out to be fine. I guess I didn't need those extra 3,000 yards because this is a lot more like focused and specialized for what I need, which
Oops,
I think is like a
keep going.
lot more beneficial.
The lights, don't worry.
So it's a lot more beneficial because I feel like I'm getting more out of it when it's directly impacting my events, which is
Gotcha.
nice.
Yep. Definitely ignore that the little power outage, technical difficulty. We are back up and running, but I didn't understand. I did hear you, and I agree with you, especially coming from when you're used to doing something else from your high school, and like you said, if you're doing more, you might feel like if you're not doing as much yardage, like you said, you might feel like, okay, well, why is it that in high school I'm doing more than I'm doing in college? But
Mm-hmm.
I think having trust in the coaches, who they've been there, they've seen it all, so
Right.
they they know what they're doing.
And there's so many different events in swimming that like everybody needs something just a little bit different. And so the fact that he's able to kind of adapt and change each workout to fit everyone's specific needs is really impressive. And so that just
Yeah.
makes it like we have 3 different afternoon practices every day, just so that
Mm.
you go to your specific one based on your specific event, based on what fits best for your schedule. Like he really like works around our academic schedule, which is really nice.
Right. Do you want to quickly share what your event is?
Yeah, I do strictly freestyle. I do the
Okay.
50 freestyle, 100 freestyle, 200 freestyle, and 500 freestyle.
There we
So
go. There you
those
go.
are my
Strictly
top
freestyle.
four.
I like it.
Yeah, those are my
There
top
we go.
four, but I'd say my top two are like the 100 and 200. Those are my two best. So
There you go.
those have
There we
been
go.
good.
All right. There you go. I'm not gonna lie. I have zero knowledge in the events in some of the swim, but I do know what the freestyle is. So in the swim meets, I'll know. I'll know. I'll be
Yeah,
there
there you
supporting.
go.
I'll be there supporting. Always supporting the Friars.
I think our next home one is Holy Cross after Christmas break. So be
I'm
there.
there. I'm there. Don't worry. Um, I do want to talk about, since you are also like me. I mean, different parts, but we were very far from home. Talk to me how that's been for you in this first semester.
I mean, I definitely get a little homesick, but not enough where like it should be concerning. You know, like I miss my mom, miss my dad, miss my brothers, but my parents kind of like they set me up for success in terms that like they shouldn't worry about me out here. Like they prepared me. Like I'm well prepared to be by myself, you know. Like I know like they don't have to worry about me like not eating or not like showering or not like going out of my dorm, you know? Like they've raised me to be like independent and successful on my own. So
There you go. There you go. Preparation. I told Mac
yeah,
on the previous episode here. I told him success loves preparation, and so it seems
that's a
like
good
you.
one.
Thank you.
I should
Thank
write
you.
that down. I have like an affirmation book that I read every day. And so here I'll read my one for the day.
Let's
And
hear
I'm
it.
and I make my roommate listen to them every day. They're
Let's
just like
hear it.
little quotes.
This is
Today's
special
was,
knowledge.
yep,
I'm ready.
you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect previous dots. You'll have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is probably the perfect way to end. I was gonna ask if you have any closing quotes, but I think that's probably
There you
the
go.
best
Yeah,
way to end
perfect.
things. I didn't even have to ask. You just read my mind into where I was going. So there you go. So like I said, that is going to be the end of today's episode of Restrepos Rundown. I do want to say one more huge thank you to Julia for coming on today. So thank you,
Thank
Julia.
you.
Thank you.
I was nervous, but it was good. I was excited too.
No, you're amazing, and I think you shared some really good stuff and a lot of good inside access into what it is as a PC student athlete here. So once again, thank you. Have a good night, and we'll see you on the next episode where we will talk to another student athlete of what it's like in their life. So thank you.
Thank you. Bye.